If you've ever needed to move home, you know how bad house hunting can be. Sure, there are the usual problems: nasty carpeting, unreasonable pricing, ugly neighbors, but I bet you've never looked at houses with a secret dungeon built under them, or a psycho house dedicated floor to ceiling to Marilyn Monroe. Well, strap in, because we're going to tour some of the craziest real estate listings you'll ever see. Dream house. When you were a kid, what did you imagine your dream house looking like? For me, it was a giant octopus with a room in each tentacle. More pedestrian kids might say it would be filled with spaceships, slides, castle towers, and magic carriages. Well, allow me to introduce you to 9200 Bentley Park, Orlando. This 7-bed, 12-bathroom property is a staggering 20,690 square feet. That's enough room for 5.5 basketball courts. And given the interior, I'm surprised there aren't at least a couple. To start, there's a large pool, a spacious foyer, a tiny dining room table in the middle of a huge dining room, a private cinema, a light-up jacuzzi, typical rich person fare. There's also this dedicated virtual golf room, which lines up with rich people taste, except, what's this dude doing here? That getup can't be helping your swing, buddy. Moving on, there's a gem, a marble bathroom, and then wham! You're in the princess room. Yeah, bet you didn't see that one coming. On the other side of these blue imposing towers is a bed and, look, a little ladder to get to the upper ramparts. Now, presumably, this room belongs to a little girl, but you never can tell with rich people. Especially considering the humongous fairy tale carriage in the adjoining bathroom. At least I think that's what it is. Across the room from that impossible parallel parking job is the Star Wars room. Dang, it's TIE fighters and fire spray class ships as far as the eye can see. I think even as a 10-year-old, I'd have enough taste to ask my rich dad to tone it down a little. Imagine waking up in that Star Wars ship every day, then sliding down to breakfast. If this giant playhouse interests you, the home can be yours for the low, low price of $12,888,000. Woof! I guess plastic aliens don't pay for themselves. If you want a slightly more reserved alien-themed property, however, then set your peepers to stunned as we take a look at this residence in Hurricane, Utah. The entire house is themed around space-age tech and Area 51. This includes an interplanetary viewing deck, military bunk-style bedrooms, lots of fluorescent lights, which I'm sure doesn't get annoying, a slide for slippery aliens, and of course, a large flying saucer in the living room. Even the outside of the building is on point, emblazoned with giant Hangar 18 text. Man, it's awesome when someone commits this much to a theme. I don't know about you, but I think this home is really out of this world. Out of this world? That's horrible. I gotta start yelling at my interns more if that's the best they can come up with. Tumultuous toilets. When it comes to home improvements or home design, I'm hopeless, truly. Still, even I could tell you there's something seriously wrong with how this toilet's been installed. No, don't adjust your monitor. This really is a toilet installed directly in front of the front door. But oh my friends, this is just the tip of the porcelain iceberg. For in my research, I have unearthed a veritable kingdom of awful toilets. Take this home for sale in Penzance in Cornwall. While mostly unremarkable, it does feature what I can only call the king of gamer setups in this room. Yeah, that's a turlet installed right behind a desk. The floor plan even shyly lists the room as an office/water closet, and if you're wondering, that shower room does indeed mean there's no toilet in the actual bathroom. If you think you'll get lonely tucked away in your bathroom office though, you can always go the opposite route, with communal pooping. This bathroom can be found in a £1 million or $1.2 million property in London. I don't know how much of that value is added solely by this bathroom, but it must be a lot. Just imagine you and your significant other can hold hands while you poop. Of course, if things get cramped, you might prefer this nice open-plan bathroom in a house in Stockport, England. The floor plan lists the room as a reception/bathroom. Don't know who I'd want to receive here, though. Oh, and the house layout even looks like a toilet. Fun! It is a little unsanitary, though, because there isn't a sink in that reception room. Maybe if the toilet were in the kitchen, like in this home in Whitehall, England, it would be a little better. What is it with the Brits and awful toilets? It would be so easy to put a door there, but the owners chose not to. On a similar note, here's a toilet in the bedroom right in front of the bed. That might be of interest to certain couples, but I don't want to wake up in the morning to my partner dropping a load. These toilets are all making me long for privacy again. Of all the bathrooms we've looked at, I find this one the most unsettling. There's something about the sparseness of it that really creeps me out. And also, I'm just considering the implications of having a carpeted bathroom. Have you ever had to use a toilet as inconvenient as any of these? Let me know down in the comments, and be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more wonderfully weird content. Now let's move on to some more unbelievable real estate. Jailhouse Rock. If you've ever seen a horror movie, you know that sometimes the most innocuous homes can house terrible secrets buried deep below the surface. On a completely unrelated note, allow me to introduce you to this beautiful old home, 43 Courthouse Drive in Guildhall, Vermont. This near 2,200 square foot home is a gorgeous 1880 build with a little American Gothic influence. As we journey through the house, you'll note its spacious rooms, vintage aesthetic, and enormous boiler room. Come to think of it, wasn't this place nearly 2,200 square feet? Doesn't look that big. Hold on, what's through this door here? Oh my. Well, I don't know what I was expecting, but it certainly wasn't this. It does explain why the house was on Courthouse Drive, though. As it turns out, the old building was once the local jailhouse in Guildhall before it was redesigned into a home. It still retains a lot of the old charm, though, including rows of cells in the basement. Since they clearly haven't been used in a while, hopefully anyway, they're all in pretty gross states of disrepair. Personally, no matter how cute the above house is, knowing this is down here would really creep me out. Although it'd be a great way to threaten the kids into behaving. Danny, eat your greens! You don't want to spend another night downstairs, do you? But that wasn't the only home I found concealing a creepy underground secret. Take a look at this home for sale in the small town of Falmere in the UK. Pretty rustic, right? Clearly it's a historic old build dating back to the 17th century. Well, take a look at this surprising walkthrough video the estate agent included. Whoa, pretty creepy. As it turns out, this old building is hiding an equally old secret. The tunnel apparently connects to several other buildings in town via an underground network and central meeting point. It's believed the tunnels were constructed for use by Catholics and Protestants to avoid persecution during the reign of Henry VIII, who wasn't exactly the most open-minded guy. The tunnel remains today as a historic curiosity, but also as a way for neighbors to easily steal your milk whenever they run out. Curse you, ancient tunnel! Turbulent tenants. Going around these wacky property listings, it's interesting how you get to know someone based solely on their home. These tenants, for example, really love Marilyn Monroe. These tenants, on the other hand, are obsessed with Taz the Tasmanian Devil. And these tenants clearly don't like swimming, despite buying a house with a pool. Sometimes, however, the tenants get involved in the listings directly, and those tenants are some of the weirdest out there. Take, for example, the owner of this enormous 4-bed house in Arlington, Ohio. They evidently thought there was no way they'd be able to sell their 3,023 square foot home without a little pageantry. That's right. While the images of the house begin looking fairly mundane, they eventually spiral into a costumed fever dream as the owner begins posing for candid shots in their home donning an inflatable unicorn suit. Evidently it didn't work, as the home was listed for just under $800,000 and sold for just over $700,000. Maybe they should have themed their costume with their property. That's the case with these next two eccentric couples. Take a look at this big impressive property in Colorado. In addition to being a generally nice roomy home, it also comes with a great big bouldering wall. Bouldering is basically rock climbing without a harness, and this owner evidently wanted to embrace this aspect of their home, so decided to pose in several pictures on the listing in a full-body mountain goat costume? Very normal decision there. I guess mountain goats are well known for their incredible climbing ability. Not sure how good they are at construction, but it was still an inventive idea. Our final fanciful tenant is the most outrageous, and it makes sense too. They're selling a castle after all. It even has a courtyard. As you can see, this property in Chattaroy, Washington is more like a fort than a house, and the owner is very keen to play along. They can be seen donning plate armor and chainmail in tons of the pictures advertising the property. Playing hockey, peeking around corners, exercising in the gym, posing in the bathroom, even slicing fruit with a danged broadsword. Every chance this guy gets, they're showing off their shiny armor. Heck, I can't blame them. I would too. So what did all this medieval voguing get the tenant? A sale of $585,000. Surprisingly cheap for a castle. Why is this fortress selling for so little? Well, probably because it's in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by forest. Just think, for the same price as a shoebox apartment in New York, you can get a castle in Washington. Question is, do you prefer the company of other people or squirrels? Tomb Sweet Tomb. The era of ancient Egypt had a huge impact on the world today. Thanks to them, we have cosmetic makeup, understand quadratic equations, and have created questionable decor in their honor. Okay, that's not really Egypt's fault, but it does lead nicely into our next freaky home. Let's take a look at this spacious 8-bed home in Guthrie, Oklahoma. While the outside of the house may look a little cheap, it's got nothing on the interior. The living room is typical rich person gaudy, giant paintings, old-fashioned rugs, and ostentatious carpets. However, when you journey deeper into the house, the particular fascinations of its owners come into focus. This is the house's hieroglyph room. The walls are adorned top to bottom with a giant ancient Egyptian hieroglyphic fresco, complete with ankhs, cranes, and all sorts of other minor details. I mean, there's old school decor and then there's 4000 BCE decor. Oh, and what's that outside the hieroglyphic bedroom? Just a seemingly life-size bright gold sarcophagus. I guess it's there just in case you can't get comfortable in the bed. While not exactly on point, the bathroom continues this general archaic theme with this library-themed wallpaper, which I think is a bust. No, sorry, I mean, there is a bust of a man's head in the bathroom. Now, you might fairly think this home has some pretty unique interior decoration, but in my sleuthing, I actually found another giant gold sarcophagus in a house for sale in Durham, England. This one is just shoved into some random corner, though. You'd think they'd take more pride in their sarcophagi. Treat your ancient pharaoh corpse like trash and you're bound to get cursed. Personally, if I had a sarcophagus, I'd want the whole neighborhood to know. Maybe I should move into this incredible home in Arizona, which is an actual pyramid. At just 576 square feet, there isn't enough room for a flight of stairs, so it makes use of a drop ladder to get to the second floor. Don't like how slanted those walls are either. Maybe there's a reason we don't live in personal pyramids. Still, it gives me an idea. Maybe if we relocate one of those sarcophaguses there, the mummy inside could finally rest in peace. Trashy homes. Fellas, I need to ask you a question. How are your bachelor pads looking? Be honest. Are there Red Bull cans piling up near your PC? Dirty dishes overflowing in the sink? Laundry that's calcified into a big hard pile? There's no shame in admitting it. This happens sometimes. Just clean up your act, and in the meantime, you can feel a little better about yourself by taking a peek at this home in Nottingham, England. While it appears perfectly fine on the outside, this is what's waiting for you on the inside. No, your eyes don't deceive you. That's a mountain of trash in the living room. Since I first looked at this place, someone has gone in and actually cleaned the place up, but the state it's been left in isn't much better. Revolting smoke stains have leached into every wall, mold creeping up every corner, what I can only assume was once a carpet rotting away, and whatever's going on in this bathroom has led to the toilet being corned off. It has a bidet though. Classy. The estate agent says this home is perfect for buyers who enjoy a project, which is the understatement of the century. Believe it or not though, this isn't even the nastiest house I found on the market. Take this charming little 3-bed in Washington for instance, that's also overflowing with trash. The key difference is that in this house, no room is safe. More or less every square inch of the home is piled high with garbage. Even the bedrooms and kitchens aren't safe. Seriously, I can't tell if this is a case of intense hoarding or an extreme localized hurricane blew through this house. Even the listing admits that you'll need some imagination to bring this home back to life. Or in other words, you're buying a corpse. Personally, I don't just find these homes gross, but also kinda creepy. Anything could be hiding in there. Still, at least it'd be hidden. Check out this image I found of another unsettling home for sale. Yeah, it kinda looks like the estate agent dragged a body out the room just to take this picture, huh? I mean, I guess that demonstrates professionalism, if nothing else. Still, not keen on making an offer. A house deconstructed. Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night needing the bathroom, but the sight of a long dark hallway was just too creepy for you? Well, imagine if instead of a long dark hallway, you needed to walk through the woods to an entirely different building that housed your toilet. And also a completely different building that housed your kitchen and any other room. Well, this nightmare reality is what you'll face if you choose to purchase Meriton Paddocks in Warwick, England. This perplexing home can best be described as a deconstructed house, as every room in the residence is completely isolated and separate from every other room. If you think that sounds stressful, confusing, and scary, don't worry. I've got 2 pieces of good news. The home can be easily understood by looking at this simple floor plan. See? What could be simpler than this? If you're still nervous though, don't worry, because Moreton Maddox was designed in part by Steve Smith, owner of another property known by the totally fear-assuaging name, The Ghost House. And honestly, that's a name this estate listing is also living up to. I mean, come on, were they trying to make every single interior picture look like a shot from a horror movie? Why are they all so perfectly framed? Smith designed this freaky house with architect Phil Shepard out of highly reflective mirrored glass. This means the property reflects and blends into the surrounding trees, which does not make it any less creepy. If you're interested in living in an existential nightmare, this home can be yours for the small price of £2 million, about $2.5 million. Still, if you ever wanted to live in the house from 13 Ghosts, that's a steal. What? Nobody remembers that movie but me? Man, I'm so old. I have such bad taste in movies. Animal House. Question: has your home ever been called a pigsty? I know mine has. Well, you can relax knowing that however messy your home has been, you've probably never had an actual pig living there. That's not the case for this home. Seriously. You're trying to sell your home and you can't even get the pig out of the living room? Come on, guys, this is basic stuff. What are they doing horsing around? Well, not as much as this tenant, who apparently decided they could sell their home with a picture of their house pet horse sauntering around. It even looks like it's on its way out. Just wait a minute before snapping the pic, guys. Oh, come on, don't look at me like that. You're worse than the pig. As out of place as these farm animals are, they at least look chilled out. I can't say the same for this next house. On sale for £375,000 in Devon in the UK, this tiny house hides a loud, annoying secret. Exploring the house, it seems totally normal at first, but then, wham! Just look at all these tiny yapping Pomeranians. Seriously, I feel like I can both hear and smell this picture. They're all barking at the estate agent taking the picture too, so you know they're noisy. Also, do they all fit in this one little pen? If that's the case, I think I have a good idea what those mysterious brown stains on the floor are. Of course, sometimes you can feel the power an animal holds over a home without even seeing it. Take this home in Bedfordshire in the UK. Pretty normal on the outside, right? Take a peek inside, however, and you'll find this cat-mad sanctuary. The centerpiece being an enormous printout of what I can only assume is the family cat, though it looks more like a vengeful god. The rest of the house isn't safe from this influence either, with cat paraphernalia lining the stairs and a large kitty treadmill taking up an entire room. If you'd prefer less animated creatures, there's always this home in Danbury, Wisconsin. Yeah, as you can see, these guys won't be making a fuss anytime soon. Honestly, I don't know whether to be impressed or very, very afraid. Let's round out our safari with a home I know will surprise you. 3553 Bosworth Road and their giant guard dinosaur. You heard me right, guard dinosaur, with a few giraffes thrown in for good measure. I feel sorry for their poor mailman. Aren't dogs scary enough? Barbie's Barf House. If you were as charmed by the Barbie movie as the rest of the world was, you may have found yourself wondering what it would actually be like to live in a dollhouse. In concept, it might not sound so bad at first. I mean, you wouldn't have any functioning kitchen appliances, running water, or privacy to speak of. But hey, it'd be pretty cute, right? Well, take a look at this apartment in Bloomberg, Illinois, and tell me how cute it looks. To me, it looks like Barbie ate a wedding cake and threw up all over a house. Some homes are unappealing because the owners allowed them to collapse into a state of disrepair. This house is the opposite. If I've ever seen a house that was too on theme or too cared for, this is it. Every square inch of the house is light, frilly, immaculate, and likely very expensive. I mean, even the toilet is wearing a little dress. How is that convenient for anyone? What makes this home all the stranger is just how unassuming the complex is from the outside. For comparison, here's a totally normal and I think pretty nice apartment in the same building. Note the lack of a toilet dress in the bathroom. Alright, really take this normal bedroom in because now we're back to the pink house. I never thought Princess Peach would have a more reserved sense of interior decoration, but here we are. The normal apartment in this building we looked at sold for $315,000, but I couldn't find word on this place's price. Gotta wonder whether this helped or hindered the selling process though. Maybe the owners of this house just wanted it to feel like it was their wedding day every day. Or maybe the apartment gets dark and they wanted their furniture to reflect as much light as possible? I don't know. All I do know is I'm ready for pink to go out of style again. Peculiar pools. A pool is kind of the end goal of all property, isn't it? Doesn't matter whether you live right next to a beach in a smoggy, polluted city or in freezing Appalachia, everybody wants a pool. Well, as I recently discovered, sometimes homeowners can be a little too keen on getting a pool installed. Take this Arizona home for instance. The owners were clearly eager for a pool, but with nowhere to put it. Well, why not right here? Yes, this is a real home with what appears to be a pool smack bang in the middle of the living room. I don't know how the homeowners figured this could possibly be a good idea. Imagine getting up for a midnight snack only to fall face first into a pool. Or not looking where you're going and landing in the water. I mean, at least move your furniture further away. This is just asking for trouble. This $1.9 million California home has the right idea. See, its pool is in the foyer? Not exactly out of the way, but better than being in the living room. Kinda. Although it does look like if you wanted to get from one side of the house to the other, you either need to walk all the way up those stairs and around, or swim across the pool. On the plus side, you can hop out and relax in the living room after. As unconventional as those last two pools were, I don't think they're horrific enough to prepare you for our final curiosity. Ladies and gentlemen, those of you with weak constitutions may want to prepare a barf bag now, as this unassuming home in Detroit comes with a carpeted pool. I'm sorry if you weren't prepared for that, and I don't blame you. Just imagine how revolting that carpet will get after a month of pool use. At least its brown pattern will make the stains harder to spot. Ugh, okay, I need to hit stop on this video. I can't think about this anymore. Well, there you have it. Some of the craziest real estate listings to ever grace the internet. What do you think? Would you live in any of these wacky abodes? Let me know in the comments down below, and thanks for watching.